Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 23rd year of giving you the best mortgage and real estate advice. I'm Harvey Freed. Right alongside of me, Harry Glantz.
Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, everybody out there. What a beautiful morning. You know what? It's cold out, but it's not that cold.
It's not cold. Well, of course, we always have our number one spark plug, Becky Alley.
What is going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. I'm super pumped to be here. And as always, I actually kind of like the brisk, but I missed the boat. Like, people miss the boat on rates sometimes. And I should have put up my Christmas decorations when it was like the third summer we were having the last 3 weeks.
Right, that's
so
70 degrees.
Becky says she likes the cold, right? So she's so bundled up this morning in her studio. She's got her hat on. She's got her down. She's got a sweatshirt. She's all bundled up, but she likes the cold. Everybody.
I'm getting my mind ready for the snowboarding seating that is
I
upon
was
us.
going to say, yeah, you are close to being an Olympic snowboarder, as we know. And you got the kids out on the mountain and everything, which is great here. And again, I hope we start getting some snow in the area, not on the roads necessarily, but just on the ski hills.
I heard
around
Buffalo
town.
got 4 inches, or someone was telling
4
me.
inches, like 4 feet. Like 4 feet. Yeah, Becky,
4 feet. Totally off.
Yeah, Harvey hopes we get snow. Yeah, call Buffalo. See how they like it.
Yeah, they're like, no thanks.
They're
Anyways,
playing here this weekend, Harvey. They're playing here tomorrow.
They are. We got lots of excitement in sports. And again, you are listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show here on 97.1. We're going to take your calls all morning long. 248-539-9797. We always give you 1 hour of mortgage and real estate talk and make it really exciting. And there are lots of opportunities out there. That's actually the first thing I wrote. Opportunities are there for so many people. And there might be the small window. Becky, I'm going to call it this next week. There's 3.5 days of the week. We got Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I forgot. It's like this month this year went by so fast for me. So.
Right, 2022 is gone. But 3.5 days this week. And the bond market's going to be shut down. But we've seen some positivity. And there might be a little window of opportunity.
There's opportunity everywhere if you look for it. And we've all known that, or in our opinion, it's our opinion that the Fed did a little bit too much. And, it's just a matter of the CPI reports coming out. So the consumer pricing index is out, it is, I think. So we got good positive feedback on inflation. So we saw positive influences on rates, which is great. And that's going to help everyone. But if you're looking to buy, it's always a good time. And people say, well, when's the best time to buy? When it works for you. I can't sit here and tell you when the best time for you is, but I can give you options. We can give you scenarios and we can run you through it. But there's a lot of people winning in this market that that probably feel it's better that they waited the last 2 years and they really are in the market right now, in my opinion.
Listen, you can't be a sheep. Don't be sheep,
yeah.
everybody out there.
Oh my God,
don't
that's
be
so good.
sheep.
I call them sheeple.
Yeah. Don't be sheep. Listen, because everybody else is doing something or not doing something doesn't mean that you should follow that crowd. What you have to do is you have to investigate it for yourself. And if there's a house out there for you or not, all right? Remember, there's two sides of the coin here. If you shouldn't be buying, don't buy if it's not right for you. As we say, it's all situational. It's a sports station, right? But we do a mortgage show. But it's like baseball. It's a situational thing. The situation dictates what you should do. So if you're ripe to buy a house, it doesn't matter what the rates are, because if you can afford that house, put your head on your pillow at night, make the payment, and it's the house that you want, and it checks all or most of the boxes, the opportunities are now. Now, Harvey brought it up. Okay, we have 3.5 days because society says that people are checking out this week. You know that. You know. And if everybody's listening, you heard me give this speech the last 33 years.
Yes.
The time between Christmas or Thanksgiving and Christmas,
in quotations,
right, it's just people check out. They check out mentally. So what does that mean to me? I never checked out mentally there. I mean, some people say I check out mentally all the time, but I never check mentally out there because opportunities are there right now for you. And in real estate, when people are checking out, that's the time that you should check in.
I agree with that. I feel like when other people are checking out mentally, that's when I hit the gas. Because,
no question.
That's when you can take over territory. That's when you can really achieve your goals, because that's what an overachiever does. So whatever your goals are in 2023, this is the time to set yourself up for success. Get with a mortgage professional. Call us at Capital Mortgage Funding. A pre-approval is free. And stop the fear. Stop hesitating because you're afraid of bad news, because it's not bad news. It's coming up with a game plan. If it's not now, it's when.
I got a new buddy client. He's going to be closing on Monday. Detroit police officer. We have reached out. I just love the conversation we had last night. So excited. Got his numbers. Did the Mish Stallone. Really getting in a house the right way. Folks, we're going to do that for you. If you're listening, you're a first responder here. Detroit firemen, policemen, anywhere in the community. You
Teachers.
And by the way, that house is beautiful.
I kind of love that house.
He bought in a beautiful neighborhood. Howard and I took a ride. We were there. A few weeks ago, we got in the car. We went around.
Oh, that's the one?
That's the one.
All
Yeah.
right.
We're going to talk about building some wealth here and home ownership. Let's move out to our first caller this morning. And if you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. Sylvia, welcome to our show and good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very
morning.
good. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. I am 60 years old. I am currently in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Got 3.5 years still to go to pay on it. I am a veteran, so I do have the VA home loan. It will be my first time purchasing a home. So what I was wondering is, can I, in the midst of this Chapter 13, still purchase a home? And I know I have to go through the courts and all that stuff to get their approval. What are the steps that I can begin to take now to become a first-time homeowner?
That's a great question, Sylvia. Becky, you want to roll with that one or you want me to jump in?
You go ahead, and then I'll chime in because I know you had one just like
Sylvia,
that.
Just recently, first of all, one day out of a Chapter 13, if you pay off a Chapter 13, the FHA mortgage is available for you.
She's talking about VA.
The VA loan
Yep.
now, the VA loan might require a little bit of a waiting period. Now, I don't know it 1,000% for sure, and I'm going to double check, and of course, we'll call you here. So I am definitely going to double check it. But the key with you is, is your credit score going to be good enough right now as you're going through this Chapter 13? Although the VA allows a zero down program, you also need to have some money to work with, although you can get in a VA and use seller's concessions, Becky.
Yep.
But the real question with you is, can you do that right now? I got to double check it, Becky. I mean, straight up, I got to double check it. She definitely can get an FHA mortgage the day after she pays that and gets that discharge that says she is paid off.
So we are going to double check those guidelines to see what kind of, statuses we got to get with that. But make sure you're making all those payments on time, and then we will call you after the show, and we'll figure out where you're at right now and what we need to do to set you up for success as soon as you get out of that bankruptcy, if we cannot do it sooner.
We're going to double check our numbers,
Okay,
definitely. Sylvia,
sounds good.
thank you for the call, and we really appreciate it. Shedding some light on, again, if you had a Chapter 13 or 7, how can you get a house in the future, or what can you do now? Thank you for the call, Sylvia. Really appreciate it. All right.
Thank you for taking my call. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Becky,
So,
your
yeah,
show
typically
last
it's-
week was great because that's what you said. The veteran has already taken the time to serve our country. That is their down payment. That was the best thing I got out of last week's show. Of course, I was out of town. You guys did a great job. I love saluting the veterans out there. VA loans, great opportunities for families to get in with zero down.
Absolutely. We had Sherry Gramlich. She's from EXP. She is a veteran. And she's a great person, and it was an honor to have her in the show to kind of put a face to some of the veterans out there. She's really active in the community, and I love Sylvia calling in because having a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 17 bankruptcy, that does not discredit you from getting a mortgage, but there are some extra steps that need to be taken. And what she was basically talking about was that she's in the middle of this bankruptcy, and we need to make sure that you can, there's different things you got to do. Typically, it's 2 years out of the Chapter 13 or 1 year if with extenuating circumstances, but those extenuating circumstances are very specific, and you got to make sure that you have all your documentation in a row for that. So we're here to help support anyone that is supporting our families. And I love the fact that she was calling in wanting to use those VA benefits, because I feel like sometimes there was real estate agents that were shunning away from it. And I feel like last year when they're like, oh, it's VA, oh, it's FHA.
Yeah, we have to offer every single program that's out there, and the fact that she is a vet, she should be able to use that. We know what the guidelines state, but we want to call her and get into it more. We don't feel it's proper to go over everything on the air because,
correct, yes,
because there's privacy issues and there, it's personal confidential information. But we're going to help everybody out. But you have to really. It's like an onion. You have to peel back the layers of the onion because everybody's situation is different. You're going to hear me say that.
Right. Well, I'll throw it out there. I actually checked the guideline yesterday, and a conventional purchase had a Chapter 13, and it is a 2-year wait. VA might have a 2-year wait. We'll definitely come back with all the facts for you. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Oh, welcome back to the show, 916. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. I'm Harvey Freed, Harry Glanz, of course, Becky Yaley. Got tons of information with you. For you here all hour long up till 10 o'clock. Come and join the show, 248-539-9797. You know, we're sort of just about to get into that other season of the year. We always said real estate's
What's
not
the
seasonal.
other season?
Well, after the holiday season. It's starting with...
Here you go, Harvey. I'm
right
going to
now.
wait till after the holidays. I love it. So we're going in that lull period, that 6-week period of time where people in society check out. I mean, it's crazy. It happens. That's human behavior. But if you're waiting because you think prices are going to come down in 2023, big article. Anybody can see us on Facebook. Here it is right here.
There it is.
There it is. National Association of Realtors predict that not only are they not going to come down, they're going to go up. Prices of homes are going to go up, it says, and this is conservatively between 1% and 5% in the first quarter of next year. Okay, so what does that mean for you? If you find something, Becky brought it up, Harvey brought it up, I'm going to continue to bring it up. It has to be right for you. Just don't jump to buy a house to buy a house. If you're looking right now or you're thinking about it, you might want to take a peek now because there are opportunities out there. People that are selling their homes in cold weather want to make a move. You don't put your home on the market in Michigan in the winter because you're just, you're kicking the tires. No. People in Michigan in cold weather put their house on the market because they want to sell their house.
See, I think Michigan has been a 365 state for the last couple of years where, excuse me, people were buying and selling winter, summer, spring, all the things. But my belief is that in 2020, a lot of people bought houses, and now those same people have a little bit of buyer's remorse because they wanted to win. They thought it was the last house that was ever going to come on the market in all of the lands for the rest of the years, and they overpaid. A lot of people were overpaying in 2020, and I'm taking calls right now where those same people are now wanting to right size and get out of those situations. And the reality is that, when you're overpaying, and those people they have great rates, you're right. Those were fantastic rates we're never going to see from 2020 to 2021 ever again. But some of those people were paying $50,000, $60,000, $30,000 over asking, and the math isn't there. So what I'm saying is right now, you can't get into what the rates are. When someone says, Becky, what do you think about the rates? I don't think about the rates. I don't care about the rates because the rates are going to be what they are, and I can't control them, nor can any lender. So control what you can control, which is get yourself into a house that you can afford at a payment that you can afford, but at a price that is not over asking. It's not this 10, 20, 30,000 over asking. It's something that you can afford, and you're not putting yourself in a negative equity situation.
Yeah, that's why the opportunities are here right now. But we were talking about it, and a couple of weeks ago, I went to a seminar in Dallas, and we had a bunch of people from around the country. It was great to see everybody. Hadn't seen everybody in 2.5 years because everyone was on the lockdown. So in business right now, the real estate market and in the mortgage market, what's the vibe? The vibe is that you can't worry about what you can't control. So what does that mean? You're not a sheep. We said it at the onset of the show. Don't be sheeple out there. You got to do what's best for you. But if you're asking me, well, what's the future hold? Now, nobody knows what the future holds. If you're a weather person, you're right on your predictions, maybe 50% of the time.
You get right to be right 30% of the time, if that.
Yeah, I've got a crystal ball on my desk, and it's just blank all the time. It's been like that for 35 years. I mean, I wish I could get the lotto numbers. I mean, but that's not going to happen. So what are rates going to do? So people say, what are your rates? Okay, what rates are going to do is that, again, inflation controls the rates. The Federal Reserve, they react to the inflation. There's going to be another rate hike. Fed funds rate hike in December.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
And then you're probably going to see one or two. John Kolb's going to disagree with me, John, if you're listening. In the beginning, first quarter to second quarter of 2023. Now, people think that the market has the rates already baked in because you saw last week rates came back a little bit, about 40 basis points. What does that really mean when you're talking nerd mortgage language? It means that they settled down. They're in a holding pattern right now. We're going to see what happens. But if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, it's always a good time to buy or sell a home. The time is now.
We're going to talk about that, building wealth here. Absolutely. Housing stays strong through recessions. Demand comes from household formation. I took a lot out of that most recent seminar. Supply comes from the builders, and they're just not building enough homes to keep up with the millennial. That population's huge. and then families are forming. And Becky, people are going to need housing. I'm feeling really optimistic about this spring. And as Harry mentioned, we might start off with maybe a couple Fed fund bumps in 2023, but then looking for a little bit better spring and maybe headed into 2023 summer.
What you just said is the most truthful thing. That little thing you just said is real estate always holds best in any kind of market. And if you want to get invested, and I'm all about max out your 401k, your Roth IRA, or whatever it is you can afford. But if you want to buy $1 million in stocks, you need $1 million. The barrier to get into real estate to invest in your future is so nominal. If you want to buy $1 million house, all you need is $200,000. You don't need $1 million. If you want to buy $100,000 house, you need $20,000. That is a huge difference. So the nominal investment that comes along to invest in yourself and your future, that is key, because the home buyers out there, if you're on the fence. I just had a conversation with a new buyer. She's, being the first time getting on her own. And she was like, I don't know. I'm going to wait. And I said, okay, well, what are we waiting for? Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know either if you don't know, because the time is now to step into that power and step into the light, because she can afford it. But it's that fear of the unknown, right? So fear and faith are two invisible things. So you're either going to hold yourself back because you're afraid, or you're going to step forward in faith and know that you're going to make it on your own. And that's where everyone kind of has to have that kind of belief system where it's time is for you, because if you're not investing in real estate, you're going to end up investing in someone else's real estate that they saw the benefit there.
That's why they're buying them up. 248-539-9797. Existing home sales, again, they're dropping. That's right. They have been dropping month to month to month. But that negative implication is being offset by this tight inventory, and the values just aren't going anywhere. Yeah. The charts don't lie, Harry. I love the information I saw this week.
Yeah, I think that you're right, Harvey. And there is a lack of inventory out there. Everybody says there's going to be more houses coming on the market. But comparatively speaking to how many buyers are out there and to what, people, they're taking their time. They don't want to give up a 3.5% interest rate. However, Becky brought it out, and we were talking about it a couple weeks ago as well. There are some people that might want to take advantage. They might want to downsize. They might think that they could sell it for more than they bought it because they bought it 2 years ago. There's that possibility. Mm-hmm. But it's rare. When I say that, that's a small percentage of the sellers out there right now. The sellers out there right now want to sell a home because they're trading up or trading down. That's it.
All right, 248-539-9797 till 10 o'clock. We're going to give you mortgage and real estates. Get your man or woman cave all set up, your she shed, whatever you need. We got Trevor calling in with a VA question. Good morning, Trevor. Thanks for the call.
Hey, guys. It's not more of a question than good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Go ahead. Whatever you got, Trev. Whatever you got.
Yeah, every week I listen to you guys before the game comes on, so I enjoy it, and I appreciate you guys having the show.
Thank you.
But so I was one of those people that bought in the beginning of the end of 2020. My rate, I got a VA loan. My rate is 2.7, and we got the house of our dreams. That's what pulled us from the house that came before. And I just wanted to see if you guys could touch on a lot of my friends, my veteran friends, are kind of reluctant to jump into the market. And I just wanted to see if you guys could touch on the differences with the VA mortgage process versus the conventional processes.
Absolutely. Great question.
Well, with VA, obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, you don't need, it's zero down. That doesn't mean zero out of pocket, but this is a great opportunity in this market, because I'm sure you understood, Trevor, you probably didn't get seller concessions when you bought your house. You might have had to go above asking. And anyone that's listening right now, you actually can go in at asking and possibly even ask for seller concessions. And a seller concession is when you're asking them to pay some of your closing costs. And there's a way to kind of work that out, where as a VA, as a veteran, you can actually now get into a home with actually probably zero out of your pocket outside of the appraisal. And, because you can ask the seller to pay for some concessions, because this market is allowing that, right? VA is not going to be as shunned as it was. And we would get so fired up about things like that. Yeah. And you can always refinance. And the other cool thing about, you can do a streamlined VA. So if you have VA benefits and you have a VA purchase, you can do a VA streamline at nominal cost. I mean, I feel like there's just a little bit of a void of lack of education for our vets out there. And I'm actually going to be getting with Sherry to have a course on, teaching, the vets out there how to really truly utilize your benefits, because some of them don't use them. And I think that's a disservice. And if you, if you have if your disability, if you have that, you don't even have a funding fee.
Yeah. Or you might not have
and
to
they
pay
don't even
taxes.
realize that sometimes they don't even realize that, if you are a disabled veteran, there's some places you don't have to pay property tax.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
Trevor,
there's things that just people don't know how much is actually out there. And I think it's just a lack of knowledge that's being thrown at the veterans that just kind of gets them reluctant to do it. I'll just rent this apartment out for another 2 years.
Yeah. Hey,
Yep.
Trevor, my daughter and son-in-law, who's a vet, and thank you to all your friends and to you and to my son-in-law and all his buddies out there. They bought a house at the end of 2020 as well, just like you did. It was not only was it zero out of pocket, they got a $5,000 seller concession. They put zero down, and
wow.
they actually got money back credited on their closing statement.
Low property
okay?
taxes out there, right?
So, and they live in Colorado Springs, and it was just a great time to buy and to use that, your VA eligibility on that. There's a lot of education, and the process is the same as a conventional loan. There's no difference in the process of that. We process, close, fund, underwrite all our own transactions. Anyways, it's the same process that we go through. So there's no stigma attached to it. It's a great benefit, and they're easy.
Yeah, you're closing them in
They're
30 days or
easy.
less. We're
Yeah.
number 4 in the nation. And I just feel like, and even to your point, Trevor, that I feel like there's just a lack of education just with buying a home in general. They don't teach it in schools, and that fear and that unknown kind of holds people back. And I don't disagree with that statement. So that's why we love the fact that you listen to us every week, because that is the purpose of the show, is to shed that light on to everyone that you can buy a house, and a pre-approval is free. So if someone is
Right.
wanting
Yeah.
to charge you money for a pre-approval, or even just have a conversation, then send them over here to Capital Mortgage Funding,
Yeah,
because
we'll do all
setting
the
straight.
work.
Yeah.
We'll do all the work for you.
Awesome.
Got no problem with that.
I have one more question for you guys.
Sure.
So I was tossing around actually refinancing and getting money out to build a barn. I'm not doing that now because my rate will never be where it's at again. And like you guys always say, don't marry the rate, marry the house. And we're married to the house, but I'm also trying to think of maybe ways that we can pull equity out of the house to build like my dream garage.
There you go.
Here, so
Maybe only a year or two away from doing that. I like that.
Oh, well, we
We're going to
lost
a quick. We lost them, but that's okay. I think we're going to go to a quick break here. All right, we'll let the music roll here. We'll go to a quick
Yeah,
break.
Trevor,
Hey,
we'll give you a call after the show and really kind of see what we can set you up for as far as that pole barn, that garage, whatever it is. You know, how we can set you up in the future, get you in right with the right people. So keep it right here, 97.1, 248-539-9797. We're looking forward to hearing from you when we come back from this break.
It's 9:34 if you're just joining us. That's right. The roads are all cleared up. Hope everyone's doing fine out there. All right, we got the mic on there. We're doing good. Jen, you got this. You got this. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 23rd year, giving you folks all sorts of great information. We just had someone we wanted to thank, and of course, all vets out there. Veterans Day was last Friday. We had a show you guys specialized in it, talking all about it. There's no doubt out there, why home ownership. He was even talking. I'm talking to some of my buddies, my vet buddies. They serve the country, and trying to get them convinced that home ownership's the way. And Becky, you threw it out there. If the rates come down, you can do the VA Streamline refinance and lower that interest rate.
Control what you can control. If you see that house and you want it, whether you have a 3% interest rate currently on your existing house, and you see the house of your dreams down the road, and your rate might be a little bit higher, get into that house. Control what you control, because when you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh man, I totally missed out on my dream because I hesitated over a payment that was $100 more that I totally could afford, and then refinance at my own leisure. There's literally it's invaluable for you to have a moment of regret. I do not want to experience that in my life. Yes. No regrets.
I actually feel no veteran here. I'll just say this real quick. No veteran should be renting. They should own a house. The freedom of ownership. You fought for our freedom, the privacy, the potential wealth building. That's what home ownership's all about.
Everybody too.
But that's the reward. Okay, that's the reward on the VA home loan program.
Okay,
0 down. So if you're renting at $1,000, you can afford 0 down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get your DD 214. We'll hook it up.
That's it.
And you shouldn't be paying rent anymore. Okay, if you can afford $1,000 in rent or $500 or whatever your rent number is, that's your mortgage number plus a little bit more, because you're going to have some property taxes in there as well. But you have to be able to afford it. And also, anybody wants to go ahead and email me at hglanz, HGLANZ at lowrateonline.com. I'll send you a list of 14 first-time home buyer mistakes to avoid. We're going to send you the list, okay? If you email me, we'll go ahead and I'll email you the list to avoid. This is the don't do list when you're buying a home, okay? Don't go out and buy a car and furniture before you move into the home, all right? Don't ring up your debt. Don't buy a house that you can't afford. We have a list that we've prepared. They're mistakes that first-time home buyers often make. So if you go ahead, everybody out there, and just go ahead and email me, hglance@lowrateonline.com. No, I'm not out playing golf. No, I'm not out of town, working for a living for you guys with everybody here. We'll send you the list. hglance@lowrateonline.com, and I'll send you the list to avoid.
Yes, making some mistakes. Hey, let's go to this call, guys. 248-539-9797. We got a lot to talk about still and jamming in. John, you're calling in. You got a question about agent responsibilities. Tell me more.
Okay, so I had there was a house I was looking at on a lake, and we put a bid on it, and it had a co-listing on it, so 2 agents. We were told on a Wednesday night, got a call from our agent saying you have the house. Sometime after that, within the next 2 days, I got a call back from my agent saying you didn't get the house because the other agent on the co-listing brought another offer in after they had accepted ours, and they took that offer.
But it was only accepted in some verbal fashion, most likely. It was never
correct.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That is correct.
So Rutrow didn't get it in writing.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't get it in writing. If there's probably a sequence of events that if you wanted to push it, you could show the timeline and everything, but an offer is only accepted if it's accepted in writing.
Yeah. And that
So
stinks because
should I have not have gotten a call from my agent saying that I had the house until that was in writing?
Now that's a different question. Thank you for asking that question. So should you? Well, that's the agent. That's between you and the agent. Not throwing anybody under the bus. Maybe that agent was just very excited for you. They were excited. They got the offer
that's
accepted.
very diplomatic, Harry. I have
And
to
they
cut
sent
you
it.
off.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
your
no.
agent should have not. Yeah, thanks, Harry.
I have to cut you off because that's the nice way to say it is I think your agent was a little over exuberant and wanted to relay that message to you because they were excited. Not only they were excited for you, and that's what happened.
I mean, the unfortunate thing is that there was a clear lack of communication, and you got caught in the crosshairs. And that is where a disservice was had, because you have two people that are working as a team, but they weren't communicating as one. And they're both are, in turn, maybe representing you. I don't know if you had so one, you got the two agents, then your agents, you got three people involved, and everyone was not on the same page. So that is where I do feel there was a disservice, because communication is everything when you're dealing with the biggest financial thing, and, to have that let down. So I definitely would, maybe have your agents address that, or your agent address that with the other agents, and they maybe need to go forward and fix it, because I do feel that things like that happen a little bit too often.
Well, that's where it is. It's between the two agents. And if they're
Yes.
partners and it's a co-listing, clearly.
So can I do a follow-up?
Sure.
Can I do a follow-up with you?
Yes,
How
go
did
ahead.
how did the same house that was listed for $499
Yeah.
only have an appraisal of $420? How can there be that big of a discrepancy?
Easy. It's really easy. Nothing in the neighborhood sold that was like that house that was listed for $499.
What lake was it on,
Just
too?
because it sold, if it was listed, I don't know what was the final sale price. Was it $499?
It went for $420.
Oh, so one for
$430.
Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
one-
They went. The final was $10,000 over the appraisal.
Okay. So how? Because somebody listed it for too high. They
Threw a rock.
Yeah, they got what
Saw
they
where it
got,
landed.
and then we go ahead and a lender goes out and sends out an appraiser, and the appraiser bases it on similar properties within the area that house, the proximity of that subject house, and they came up with a number. Now, that's what happened. I mean, it is what it is.
John, did you? What were you going to pay for the house, John? It went for $430. What were you willing to pay for that house? I'm just curious.
$495.
Son of a gun, and you
Yep.
were all good. You were gung ho. You're out there, and you know that there's no other opportunities like this. There's not a million lake houses available. I'm a lake guy. I live on the water. Just curious, what lake was that, by the way?
Lakeville.
All right, so I don't listen. I don't want to get you more mad.
Yeah, we're not rubbing salt in the wound there,
don't
Harvey.
Be mad, don't be mad at us. Don't be mad at me when I ask
Go
this
find a
question.
better house.
You put in an offer at $499. They didn't take your offer, and they took an offer at $430.
Man, come on now.
I don't know.
No. Wait. Well, again, they took a cash offer. Okay, and I have no idea what that was.
Oh, you
And
don't
then
know
the
what the
people
offer.
didn't. Then they had problem with a septic and well. They backed out.
All right.
So they had to put it back on the market.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that it sounds like there's a lot of moving parts in the transaction. The communication aspect, that's the agent situation. But I'm sorry it happened to you, my man. It does happen. And a deal isn't a deal until it's in writing, accepted, and closed. Okay?
Get it in writing.
What's meant to be is meant to be. He's going to find himself a better house. I'm calling him after
Yeah,
the
we'll give
show
him a
and
shout.
getting him a better team together. You got to have a great real estate team out there. Better communication. Shame on the seller. You might have left 50 grand on the table or more. Anyhow, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll show you how not to make those mistakes. 248-539-9797. We'll be back. All righty, welcome back to the show. 9:46 on what I call a gorgeous day out here in Southeast Michigan. We got tons of football coming up. Keep it here on the station for sure. We got Michigan football and I'm sure a whole bunch of sports. I don't know what happened to the Pistons
We got
last
Riverview
night.
Pirates. I think they're in like the playoffs right now. They're
There
going to be
we
in
go.
Rochester.
Hey, I
they
like
are
that.
killing it.
Wait, I'll go with it. How about Belleville last night in
Yep.
double OT? No, in overtime. I'm watching that game on Fox. And
There's a lot of good high school football going on right now, too.
No doubt, a lot of talent on the field for Cass Tech also, but Belleville pulling it out, taking the 2-point conversion. Salute to those guys. I don't have the score on Clarkston Davidson. If anyone out there, again, Pat Caputo will
Call
be coming
in.
in next. Call it in. I'm sure Pat will be following all high school sports and everything cool that's Michigan. So exciting. When the sun pops up, it just makes me feel good. But, we're in that season here, definitely. Some of you folks are thinking about getting that second home.
Procrastination season. That's what I like to call
Hey,
it.
after the holidays, let's get together after the holidays.
how
We're gonna We're gonna clean the closets after the holidays.
I got that done up. But how about the
Everybody-
vacation homes here? Look, some of us are going to be headed up north. They do the snow thing, Becky. You like to do that. We talked about it earlier. Escaping to the south. The opportunities are there right now. There's a little bit of window. I spoke to the people down in Florida. Of course, I'm licensed down there. I got a lot of clients down there, and there's this little window of opportunity. Rates maybe snuck down a little bit, but that's not the opportunity. 21 and 28 days on the market is unheard of in Florida because they were eating up these properties as soon as they hit the marketplace here. They were overbidding, and when you get down there to sunny Florida, and then
Yeah.
you're going to want a piece of it.
But
You
it's
might
still
want to buy that
happening.
vacation home.
But it's still happening. Okay, Florida's a destination spot. There are a lot of destination spots in the United States, and these places are still being snapped up. If you take a look at that, and you go down there, there's still parts of the country that people are overbidding, Harvey. If you're going to spend time there, what's your barrier to entry? I mean, if you're going to go ahead and you want to be there, you're going to overpay. It's just that simple. And there's nothing wrong with it if that's something that you want to do and you're going to keep it. But don't complain about it because you have to overbid to get the house because that's something that you want to do. It's a choice. Nobody's making you do it.
No, and vacation homes, like Harvey was saying, they're very strong because there is such a lack of inventory. So appreciation and second homes, there is that resilience because there's only so many houses on the lake. You either want lake view, do you want lake access, do you want lake privileges? All those things are different. It's based off the location. So, second homes, people are really still trying to get into those because, like you said, they're not building. There's not more land.
They're not making any more water, and they're not making any more land.
Yeah.
I like
So
all
second
that.
homes are always going to be top of mind. If you are so inclined and in that position to be fortunate, give us a call because we are a national lender. We are top 10 in the country, and we are licensed in all 50 states, and we can help you achieve that home ownership, whether it's your first house at the same time. You let us know.
You mean a real mortgage bank that has
Yeah.
a real building that you can come and sit down with us that has a real reputation that's been
boy.
around for a
Here he
long
goes.
time? That's all true. Yeah, you can call us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. It sounds like a little bit of an ad. Hey, let's go there. How about all these fun catchphrases and words of 2022 here, or the pandemic words that are coming out?
I'm ready for you.
Let's go with some of them here.
I'm ready.
I only wrote down a couple. Let's go with number one on the list, shift. The shift in the market.
The
Becky,
shift.
oh
We said
boy.
that, the shift.
The
Shift
shift.
happens.
So shift happens. What we're going to do, what we have, and I've got this queued up for next week, Harvey. We did a show March 26th. If you go back 2022, March 26th, we all sat in the studio.
What were we saying?
And we went out and
I
what
black
we're
out.
saying. See, that's the great thing about video. Okay, you can't. That's why you watch video when you monitor football games and baseball games. You watch that, and then you watch the video on the show.
Show me the receipts.
So the March 26th show, we talked about what was going to happen later on in the year of 2022. Well, here we are. Later in the year, 2022, and we said in the spring, in March 26th, that rates were going to go up. Don't wait.
Yep.
Okay, and here we are. 8 months later, Harvey.
To that, okay, so
Rates
to that
are
point,
up.
now we were
All right,
all
come
wrong.
on.
Yeah, so we were wrong as far as no one projected they were going to go as high as they were. But yes, we were saying that they were going high. But what makes me laugh is what Harvey is saying is if you're just talking about it right now, you missed it.
Yeah,
you
gonna
missed
go.
it.
We're gonna go to that video, Becky, because we all sat here and there might have
Losers
been,
react, winners anticipate.
no question about it, and you just can't wait. All right, but here. Now, the other side of the coin is you don't want to be in a hurry either. John Wooden said it best, right? Play fast, but not in a hurry. All you goofballs out there know what I'm talking
love that,
about,
yes.
right?
Sports
So true.
analogy.
Play fast, but not in a hurry.
Right.
Okay? So the market moves fast. It shifts, Harvey. It did shift, and it's going to continue to shift. Now, which way? We'll get back into our predictions for 2023 in an upcoming show. But it is shifting, Harvey. What's your next word?
Oh, the next word. Actually, we got. I changed the page on it, Harry, but I'm going to find it again.
Are you nervous? All of a sudden,
It would be
24
Marry
hours.
the House,
nervous.
Date
I
the
was
Rate.
moving
That
it.
was the other one
Well,
that
we
they
have
just
that one.
abused
Okay,
it.
go with that one.
Yeah, they abused it. So I was like, nope, we're looking for your forever
Yeah.
home, not your forever loan. It all equates to what
Oh, boy.
Harry was just saying is right now the buyers have an advantage. You can go in the house. You can see the house 2-3 times some at this point. Make sure it has good bones. Get that sewer line inspection. No one is waiving home inspections. And if you ever had to waive a home inspection
No.
to get the offer accepted, you did yourself a disservice. And some of those people in 2020 are now seeing that they had some major issues by doing that. So this market is going to allow you to actually make a sound mind decision.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like you said, play fast but not in a hurry. And that's exactly what this market is going to allow you to do, is make great decisions. But it all also goes along with your team.
Yeah, I'm
Who's
going to give
around
you a
you?
word. I'll give you guys a word, Harvey. I've
Go
got
on.
one for you that
Go
you
on.
never, ever, ever should forget is fundamentals. all right?
Yes.
In any market, there are the fundamentals of a transaction. You should always go through the fundamentals, right? You got to be able to afford it. You got to make sure you're not overextending yourself. You got to make sure that it checks the majority of the boxes. You got to make sure, and this is very, very important, that when you enter into the transaction, you don't waive that property appraisal. There are certain things that you always should do, and those are called the fundamentals. It's in anything. The fundamentals of home buying are the fundamentals of home buying, and you should always stick to the fundamentals. Like blocking and tackling in every practice. You guys hate when I say it.
Yep.
It's true, though. Daily disciplines are what is going to separate you from everyone else. And what you practice in private always comes out in the light. And that goes both personally and professionally.
Nobody likes practice. Nobody likes going to practice and doing the same thing over and over again. In business, nobody likes doing it, but those people that are most successful in business are doing the same. When I say the same things, they have daily disciplines that they're going over every day, and they stick to it. How many calls are you going to make every day? How many people are you going to talk to every day? Are you going to surround yourself with positive influences or negative influences, okay? If you want to fly with the eagles, you don't hang out with pigeons.
Yes.
All right? You don't do that.
Preach, Mr.
All right?
Glantz.
I know, I'm
Harry,
lower now,
it's
but
all-
that's it.
Tis also the season, Harry, where the business plans are starting to formulate for 2023. How important is that? As you mentioned, Harry, the fundamentals of your business, or if you're selling or
Right.
buying a house, personal or business, it
I already
all
know.
falls into life.
We already have our plan in place. I mean, if you're doing it now, you might be a little late, but you should still put it in writing and follow a plan, and then you can always adjust the plan. Every good team, every good business, every good coach has a plan.
Yep. A dream without action behind it is just a hope.
So that's right. So when you have a plan to buy a house, you sit down and you write down all the things that you have to buy that house, and we can help you do it. Becky, Harvey, myself, John, everybody at Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 2289. We are here for you. 23 years on the air, over 30 years lending in southeastern Michigan and all around the country. And I'm just happy that I get to do it with you guys.
I think good stuff, Harry. I'll let us go off to that
Yep.
one. Hey, for you, Becky, and for Harry Glantz, I'm Harvey Freed. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll catch you next weekend, and we'll see you for the rest of the year. Get that plan together and keep it here on the 97.1 The Ticket. Catch you soon.